It's been a weekend of first. That's right. First UC Davis football game I've been to. First time I've been to Phil's Coffee. And first time I've worn a turtleneck. That's right. This, and also it's recorded and being put on the internet for what? Perpetuity? That means forever, right? Perpetual? That's like where perpetual comes from, perpetuity. Or maybe vice versa. Which one came first, chicken or the egg? Perpetual or perpetuity? I don't know. But yeah, this is I don't know. I'm on the fence. I think I like this sweater. I was really hype about it, and I am still pretty hype about it. But I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. You know? It's like when you watch a show, I've had this before. I've started watching a show and I can't quite tell if I enjoy it, but for some reason, I am halfway through the first season and I still want to watch more, you know? But if someone was to ask me, oh, so you like the show? I'd be like, it's not. That's a thing, you know? I wonder, that actually now reminds me of like, so I talk to people that, they date people. And it's funny because you hear the same thing with that. Same thing with shows and relationships. You're doing it and you're like, this is fun. But then if you were to ask them, like, well, why are you doing it? They'd be like, I don't know. But you don't want to stop and think about why you're doing things. If you're having fun, you should keep going. And it is also what every drug addict in the world has ever said. Actually, they don't do it. They just subconsciously do it because they're like, well, it's fun right now, so let's keep doing it. What I'm essentially saying is love is a drug. That's why I haven't gotten addicted yet. I haven't had that gateway. I'm abstaining. No, what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. But what I can tell you is I got this turtleneck. I got my shipment of stuff, came in this big box, all these clothes. Oh my God, I tried them all on. They're all great. I saved them all. I wonder, I realize going through a bunch of clothes I got, I'm like, I think one of these pants could be a slightly different size, but it's like, I don't want to go through the hassle of like returning it. And I was like, you know what? It fits. And then I also lied to myself, or I tried to lie to myself. I was like, hey, you know what? When you wash it, it'll probably shrink anyways. So don't worry about it being maybe a little too big, it'll fix itself. Don't go through the hassle of returning one item, man. That's no big deal. But yeah, I got all my stuff and this, oh my God. So this, I like this sweater, like the feel of it, but I'm like, I don't know if I love the look of it. Like, I like how it feels, super comfy. This is the piece I was like, man, it's gonna look cute as fuck. And I almost gave it away last episode, but the turtleneck, oh my God, it has a turtleneck. That's really funny. Turtlenecks to me are really funny. What is it? Not feature, but a characteristic of a piece of wear, of a piece of clothing. I just think a turtleneck is a funny part of it because it looks like you look like a marker. Like, and then the turtleneck is like the plastic part of the marker, and then your head is like the felt tip. We're all just felt tips, writing our own stories in this wonderful thing we call life until eventually our felt tip dries up. It's really poetic when you think about it. But yeah, I think I like it. I think I like this sweater. I'm certainly gonna keep it. I actually told someone about this a couple days ago. I said, you know what? I really like it. I think I look a little goofy in it, but I'm 1,000% keeping it, and I'm absolutely gonna wear it. But I just want the audience to know. I want people to know. I realize this looks a little goofy. I don't know. Well, no. Anytime you look at someone in a turtleneck, I think turtlenecks are just inherently goofy. Also, when you just look at the name, like you think about the name, turtleneck, and then think about what literally a turtleneck is. It's just this small little scaly cylindrical thing connecting a turtle's head to its body. Turtleneck is such like, if you think of turtleneck, if you were to just cut a turtle, this is so dark. If you were just to cut a turtle's neck, it would just look like a green hot dog or a green sausage. So gross. It would look like a, Michelangelo's dick, and you're like, what? I'm talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You know? Yeah, it would look like Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and wait, who else is? There's another one. Is it Da Vinci? No, it's not, right? I don't know, but yeah, no, it's a turtle's neck would look like a bigger turtle's dick, right? What the fuck am I talking about? Anyways, yeah, weekend of first, I went to my first UC Davis football game ever, and yeah, I, I don't. I think some people know this about me, but some people don't, and then it's always. I think it's fun to like break it to them. I tell people like, I've never been to a single sports game. Well, first I start. I've never been to a single football game, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I've never been to a single sports game at Davis," and I'm like, "Also, never ridden the bus in Davis," and that one is the one that usually gets people. Um, but yeah, I said it a couple days ago to someone, but yeah, I'm like the antichrist of Davis. I don't know if I'm using that correctly, but yeah, I represent Davis, right? Being a student, being an Aggie. Yet if you look at everything I do and stand for, I'm not an Aggie. I'm just kidding. Because now I've been to a football game. That's right. And how was my experience? It was good. I'm glad I went. And I don't think I would have gone. I had a friend of mine that I met for coffee before the game, you know, accompany me. So thank you to that person. I don't know if people are like comfortable with like their names and stuff existing in a place like this. So I won't say a name, but a friend of mine, she and I got coffee, and then she was like, "What are your plans after this?" I was like, I was maybe gonna go to the game. There were originally plans to go to the game, but then those kind of fell through with that like group. So I still like had my ticket, and I still like filled out my symptom survey because I was like, maybe I'll go. But I was like, I was thinking about going to that, but I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you want some company? I was like, I would love some company. So we went. She stayed the first quarter. That was great. But when we were walking around, she was showing me certain things like this is where this is where this is, and there's this little up. I mean, if you enter the student entrance, it's the back right corner. But if you enter through like the main entrance, it's like right there. There's this little like white picket fence, and I'm like, Mark Twain, is that you? No, but that little white picket fence is where this horse and the horse rider they stand like during the game. I don't know how long they're there, but they're for like part of the game. But what's this horse? What makes this horse special? Well, that's Maggie the Aggie. That's right. I didn't know this shit either. We have a horse named Maggie the Aggie, and that horse like leads the team onto the field. I think before the game. I watched it happen. I don't know why I'm saying I think that's what happens. And so yeah, you can go and like approach Maggie the Aggie and be like, "Yo, what's up? Big fan of your work." And I told this person I was with, like, I looked at Maggie the Aggie. I was like, wait a minute. Maggie the Aggie. They should rebrand Maggie the Aggie as Mag the Stallion. I'm sure there would be much more broad appeal. It's very, it would be very in. I don't think Maggie the Aggie is that topical. I think it's a tad antiquated. I think Mag the Stallion would really be great with the youth. It would mesh with the youth of today. Anyways, but we're walking, and this person I'm with, like works with Gary May. So then Gary May's wife, Lachelle, and then one of their daughters was walking this way. Gary was like however many feet behind him. And then Lachelle introduced me to like her daughter. I was like, yo, what's up? And then Lachelle was like, she's trying to like describe like why are we talking to this fool? She was like, the college tours they did like the watch party. She's like, yeah. She was like, he was one of the like correspondents. And she was like, oh, so cool. And then Lachelle turned and looked at me, and she was like, by the way, it's so much fun. I was like, really? I'm so glad, because that's all I've been thinking about for 2 months. Did you have a good time? Because I couldn't tell. So nervous. I was so nervous. But no, I got some cold hard confirmation, and also that means, oh my god, Lachelle May remembers me? How dope is that? But then they go off to a tent. Also, this is another thing I didn't know. There's like these two special VIP tents. There's like a blue tent and a gold tent. The blue tent is for like the head coach's posse, you know. I think that's who it's for. And then the gold tent is for like Gary May, the chancellor's like posse. And get this, Lachelle said, "Hey, if you guys want to pop in and get anything to eat, you're more than welcome to. Come by anytime." I was like, "No way." But then they went off, and then Gary May comes in, and without hesitation, slight flex here, folks, slight flex. Without hesitation, Gary goes, "Hey, Garv." I was like, "Sup? Sup? Right back at you. Hey, you." Shit, why can't I be better about these things? But no, then we just started talking, and then of course I had to make a joke. You know, the game had just started at this point, and so I asked Gary May. I was like, "So, who you rooting for?" And then he was like, "Huh, let me see, hmm." And then he didn't answer. And then me and my friend, we walked away. And I was like, "Hey, did you notice how he didn't actually say who he's rooting for? What if he's an undercover Sac State guy?" That's right, he's in it for the long con. This is his 5th year, but I know what he's doing. He's gaining our trust. See, I like him so much. That makes it easier to infiltrate. He's just winning us over with his charm. That's all this is. It's all a game. No, I like Gary May a lot, actually. He's just cool. Like did I tell you this? I don't know if I said this on this podcast, but when I interviewed him, this is so stupid. I felt stupid in the moment saying it, but I was like, no, this is what I think. I'm gonna say it, right? Like, there's no. Maybe it sounds a little weird, yeah, but I told Gary May, I was like, "Hey, by the way, you're like really human." And he was like, "Thanks. I try to be." I was like, "Yeah, me too." But I was like, "No, I mean, like, yeah, you do you talk well, you know, for and because we were talking about like how engineers aren't great at talking. I'm not saying that's true. No hate towards engineers. It's just I think, you know, in the record book, engineers aren't really written down as being the most, you know, well versed in the communication department. That's why they make us take a course or two, because they're like, you guys got to work on that shit. But no, I told him, I was like, "No, you're really human. That's dope." And he was like, "Thanks." I was like, "Yeah, I know. There's better ways I could have said that." So, but I mean that in the best way possible. But before we took off from Gary May, we got a picture, and you might have seen that picture on Instagram. It's this picture. Boom, here it is. I didn't even know it was going to go on his Instagram, but it did, and it had the caption. What was the caption? I think it was like a chancellor and a YouTube star like go to a football game or walk into a football game, right? Dot dot dot. I didn't know that was going to happen, and I read that caption, and I was like, "Oh no, YouTube star." I felt a little weird about it, right? Like, but then what really like hit it home, like I got a lot of DMs that were like, "This is so cool, this is so cool." A lot of people reaching out, like, "Oh, this is dope." Um, but then there was one, you know, this got posted on Instagram, on Twitter. There was one reply on Twitter from a user named Irene. And Irene, what did she say? What did they say? Let me read it verbatim just so I get it right. So yeah, the original comment is a chancellor and a YouTube star walk into a football game. Dot dot dot, or ellipses, if that's how you operate. And then Irene replies and says, "Nice. Were you also able to take a picture with the YouTube star?" Which that's the funniest reply like anyone could have given, and I'm glad it happened because that actually was the funniest shit ever. I sound like I'm probably coping like massive amounts of copium right now, but like I'm kind of glad they said it because I was like, yeah, I feel kind of weird, even like in a joking way, getting called like a YouTube star or anything, and I felt kind of like guilty. This made me feel better, like someone like making that joke, but I felt like guilty after I heard YouTube star because I started thinking, I'm like, you know, after this week, like I haven't posted in another month. I just took a giant break last time. And so I just felt like so guilty that, oh my God, I'm getting this credit for being this thing, but like I'm not even showing that right now. Like sure, I've been making videos for like 4 years now. So I have like a portfolio of stuff, like I guess a small reputation that's based off of that. But I've always been one that's like, if you're not making the thing right now, like I don't know, it's hard to give credit. I feel like like when someone purely lives off their reputation, I feel weird. Like I really enjoy when someone's like killing it, but like actively killing it. So when I saw like YouTube star, I haven't been uploading much. I felt like Rihanna because it's like everyone's like you're like dope, you're dope, but it's like I haven't made fucking anything in so long. I don't deserve this credit. No, Rihanna does like modeling stuff, and things like that, but like with music, like she hasn't made music in so long, but everyone already always holds her to this like high standard of like you're this amazing singer songwriter everything, which she is, but it's like I would feel weird if I was Rihanna because I'd be like, God damn, how do I look this amazing? I was just in a turtleneck and my neck beard was like scratching at it, and now I'm this fucking goddess. How's that possible? But like I feel uncomfortable right now, like taking any credit for anything YouTube related because it's like I don't make stuff on YouTube right now. So I'm like, it feels weird to call me that, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it's like you know what I feel like? I feel like that guy from high school that's like, I'm really good at basketball. And it's like, oh, word? Are you on a team? It's like, well, I JV. JV, we won state. Well, we went to state. So, yeah. Um, well, I mean, I went to state. Like, I was in the stands. I mean, I like tried out for the team, and then they made it to state. I watched. They lost. They would have won if I was there. But yeah, I was killer on the freshman team, though. So, and the coach said, if anyone gets injured, I could maybe be on the team, as a towel boy. But I mean, like, it's still, you get a jersey and a banner at the end. So, at the banquet. So, you get recognition. But yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like the guy in high school that peaked. And it's like, well, do you even play at your local gym now? And it's like, no, I don't. And they're like, but I've seen you there. It's like, fine, I do, but all the high schoolers kick my ass, okay? So that's the thing. I feel like when I'm not actively making things, I'm like, I don't deserve credit because what is there? I, I, I guess in some way, am I like, oh, in the past, what I haven't uploaded in like 3 weeks now? Have I like lost the complete ability to do that? No, realistically, no. Like I still have the ability to make videos, but if I don't make a video, in my head I'm like, well, then I haven't proven it to you that I actually can. Because anyone can say they can do anything, but I've always really given into the idea of like, show me, don't tell me. I don't care what anyone tells me, but if someone shows me, I totally respect that. And that's where I really get impressed. Because, I mean, that's another thing from making videos for so long. Not so long, but 4 years. You see a fair amount of people that talk about, like that one guy in that story I told a couple weeks ago. A lot of people are like, I have so many ideas. Like, a lot of people tell me I should be a YouTuber. I'm like, all right, then why don't you do it? And they're like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have time and stuff. But if I did it, I would be really good. I'm like, but I don't. How are you so confident saying that? That I could never do. I mean, even now, I made 172 main channel videos. I've made 48 podcast episodes, and still, if I don't upload, you know, at least 2 weeks within 2 weeks of my last upload, I feel like I don't deserve any credit whatsoever because it's like I haven't proven myself. Um, so yeah, but that's probably just something I think every creator needs to just get over. It's like, don't hold yourself to that standard because the only person you're really hurting is yourself. No one gives a fuck if you think that way. It's only that's the mindset you just got to get over. Okay. So yeah, what I'm saying is get over it, you big stupid idiot. Tag yourself. I'm the big stupid idiot here. Yeah. Anyways, I took some notes about like things that happened in this football game that I wanted to talk about. So let's just pull them up just so I don't forget anything. Um, but yeah. Oh, oh my God. Now, I don't know if this was because, oh, just by the ways, Davis, they lost. They got completely bent over and just, whoop, it was rough. Hard to watch. I felt like I had to like talk to someone after watching that. It felt wrong. It felt dirty. They lost 27-7 at home. It's gotta hurt. It did hurt. I watched it. And no lube was used. That shit was raw. Goddamn. Yeah, you have to sign a waiver on the way out that you won't sue them for any mental scars or damages because wow, you know? But no, for the majority of the game, it was like 27, not majority of the game, but like for a majority of the game, Davis was scoreless. But then with a minute 41 left in the game, um, they finally got a touchdown. And you can tell, like, the defense isn't, you can see it happen. Defense is kind of lax now. They're like, all right, man, go ahead, score. What? Cool. We still got the win, you know? But with a minute 41 left, Davis got their first touchdown. And the crowd, like, started cheering. And I saw one guy, like, get up and, like, put his arms up. He's like, whoa, yeah. I was like, it felt kind of, like, sad to watch how happy Davis was. And I don't know if this is a me thing, but I was like, don't we all feel kind of sad cheering, like, this much for it? And then you see like they still got to do all the things they usually do when they score. So like the cheer team goes and they get these flags that I didn't even know existed because there was no reason to pull them out before this because they didn't score. But when they finally got that first score, the cheer team goes and takes these flags that spell out UC Davis, and then they run around like the opposite end zone. And I was like, oh man, like I was watching the cheer team like run with the flags. I was like, do they feel silly? Like they have to feel silly, right? Like usually when you run with the flags, you're like, yeah, this is hype. Like we're in this game, we're killing it. But with this one, it's like, I started thinking about it and I couldn't come up with a good analogy. But the closest thing I got to was, like someone's super, super old and it's their birthday, um, and they get a present, and actually you gave them the present and you give them this present of basketball shoes because they really like playing basketball. But remember, they're wildly old. And so you give them basketball shoes, and, basketball shoes, that's a nice gift, but you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, the game's almost over. Yeah. uh, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to run with the flags. You're supposed to give them a nice gift, but it's like, hey, the game's almost over. So don't you feel a little weird doing that? But it was nice. It was nice to see what happens when Davis scores because like this is the last game of the season, and so like that's the only time I would have been able to see that. So I'm glad I got to see it. I'm just being an asshole right now. But during the game, I was like standing like near this railing, like the tunnel that leads into the game. Like I spent most of the game just like standing on top of that tunnel and watching because it was a good vantage point. And so these kids on this like railing, kids would always come up and like stand on this railing, but they're so short, so they can't see over it. So they would like climb, and then these parents would be like, "No, no, no, don't you fucking dare!" And then it was so weird explaining or like hearing parents explain like like if you it's death but it wasn't death like they this one mom was like, no, 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 what do you think you're doing? She's like, you see how far down that drop is? You're not climbing up there. I was like, that was such an interesting way to say that. Because like in my head, when I was seeing that kid like climb on the railing, all I was thinking was, oh my God, like you got to get down or you're going to fall and die. Because, I have whatever the concept of death is, I have that a little bit. Like I kind of get what death is as much as I think a human can. But like, I don't know if those kids know what death is yet. So like, their mom was just like, "Do you see how far down that is?" But then I was like, I wonder if then they're able to put it together and be like, "Oh yeah, we do see how far down that is, and if we fall, we're gonna die." Or do they just see like, "Oh yeah, that's far down, and we know that's bad," but they don't quite get why it's bad. That was very like interesting to me. Because like yeah, if that was like my parent, they'd be like, "Yo, what are you trying to do? Kill yourself?" I'm like, "Yes, don't stop me." No, you see that? It's 27-0. There's nothing to live for anymore. Um, but then another two kids, they were being responsible. Responsible. They weren't climbing up, but their mom um, was with them, and the dad wasn't around. But then the mom starts calling for the dad over to the left. I'm like, oh, so he's like around. He's just not with them. And she's like, whatever his name is, I don't know. Father, father, hey, dad, get over here. And he comes over, not very fast, with no haste. But then the mom gets a little hush hush, and she goes, hey, what's going on? Are you drunk right now? And he's like, no, I'm not drunk. But like in a slurred way, I was like, oh my God. These kids are what, 4 to 6 years old or something? Actually, I literally don't know how old kids are. Like from the ages of 4 to 10. If you told, actually, really, actually, honestly, from like four, actually from 0 to 18, I'm like, you could all be the same age, aren't you? Like, I honestly don't. Like now when I look at in high school, any time I was in high school, like actually freshman, sophomore, junior year of high school, I looked at seniors. I was like, that's an adult right there. I've driven past my hometown high school, like as a freshman in college. I looked at the high schoolers. I was like, what the fuck? I thought like the middle school team came to visit, and they're like there, but no, those are fully high schoolers. And I'm like, what the fuck? So like these kids they're probably like 12, but to me they were like 3. And so these like 3-year olds, 4-year olds or whatever, are so early in their life, but I can already see like if they're a team, if that family is a team, I can kind of already see one of the coaches is going to get fired soon, And that's really hard to like look at. It's kind of like the Kings. They just fired Luke Walton. But like for weeks and for the past, however many days, like every game, there's chants. Like I saw these videos of chants that were just people in the crowds at Kings games saying, fire Luke Walton, or like fuck Luke Walton. And so you can kind of see, the cracked windows already. And that's what the fire Luke Walton chants, I was seeing those chants of this family. Except in that family, they came through the form of, hey, what's going on right now? Are you drunk? And I was like, oh no. Someone's getting fired soon, And that was sad. That was heartbreaking to watch. But you don't get to see that unless you're out there in the battlegrounds of real life society. See, I don't get to see that in this room. I'm not letting in troubled, collapsing families here. Okay, it's just me. You got to go outside to get that stuff, and I got it. And Jesus Christ, it's sad, but it's real. And another thing I noticed with like Davis wasn't doing hot, so I don't really blame anyone. But Jesus Christ, Davis's audience or like crowd sucks. They're bad. Like it's a big stadium, so maybe like sound doesn't travel or that's what's up. But wow, real quiet. Not loud at all. Like the wind was louder than the crowd. I don't know, maybe I have a warped perception of college crowds, but like yeah, all the college crowds you see on social media are like these forces, like these giant immovable masses of noise. But yeah, no, with Davis, it was just like an audience watching. That's what I noticed. It was just a lot of people. They were like, "We're watching a game," and once again, I don't blame them because there was nothing to cheer for the whole game. But I was like, "Damn!" Like they'd be like, "Make some noise," and I'm like, nothing changed. That's like, the kids on the railings. Like the mom went to the bathroom, and then the dad was like, "All right, kids, let's go get some food," and he kept being like, "All right, let's get some food." But you know, he was drunk, so he couldn't be very creative. He was just like, follow me." He just kept he just kept saying the most unconvincing shit. He was like, "Hey guys, come on." And then he'd like grab one of their shoulders and he'd be like, guys, come on." And it was almost like he looked like the kid trying to like get his parents' attention. He's like, "Come on, guys, listen to me." But no, those were some cold blooded sons because they were not budging at all. They were holding on to that railing. They were like, "Fuck your food, Dad. I'm watching this shit." And I'm like, "But you guys are wearing Davis shit. There's nothing to watch here, you know?" um, Everything that's happening out there, that they're all falling long distances. That's what's happening. AKA, they're getting killed out there. Um, but yeah, the dad. I don't know where I was going with the dad, but yeah, that was just. Oh, it was that. It was like the dad kept saying, "Come on, guys, come on, let's go," and they would they just ignored him. The same way, like the announcers are like, "Let's give it up, Davis, woo!" And then everyone was like, "No, no, I'm not gonna do that." And then the band, oh, I felt so bad because like the band, I think only plays if we get a first down or like a touchdown, and we did not get a lot of those. And I was in marching band in high school, so I kind of like I've been at games where you don't play very many fight songs because there's not a lot of fighting happening on the field. Um, like I know in high school we'd play a fight song. Like if they got a touchdown, that's your cue to get up. We're playing the fight song. You don't even wait. You just get the fuck up, and then the drum major goes right into it. It's just an understood thing. But yeah, I was looking over there, and people were like, people were like putting their instruments down. What is, holy shit, I forgot what the name of it is. This is embarrassing. But what's a tuba in marching band? The one that wraps around your body? Shit. I don't remember what that's called, but you know the marching tuba. You can see those. They all took them off because it's like I'm not gonna use this anytime soon. And I was like, damn, that's really sad. Like I heard a lot of Stack States band, and I was like, damn, they're also good. They're quite small and they were very loud. I was like, Jesus, we're getting showed up by like one section. We have like 90% of the stadium, and that 10% on the field and in the crowd, both of them, they kicked our ass. Man. So yeah, that's one thing I know. It's like not much school spirit, and I've heard that from some people. Like some people on the cheer team I've talked to, uh, they were like, "Yeah, I wish there was like more school spirit." I was like, "Yeah, I guess that makes sense. To come from the cheer team, like they're like the height of like spirits, so of course they probably want more." But now I went, I'm like, I kind of get it. I kind of get it, cheer team. Oh man. Also, this is something interesting. Did you know that the dance team performs at halftime and the cheer team doesn't? Interesting. The dance team has like 9 people. The cheer team, they have like fucking like 30 to 40 people. Big, big group, the cheer team. It's wild. And I remember in high school, like we would have rallies and football games. Um, oh, I would prefer to watch the cheer team perform way more than the dance team. Dance team, I mean, they do great work. Don't get me wrong. But the cheer team, oh, they do impressive work. Like, they do that thing where they get in a square and then they have those like really, really like 4'7" girls like run diagonals and then do like fucking 8 flips in the air, and you're like, God damn, maybe I want to be 4'7". Maybe this this 6'3" thing isn't working out because if you can get 8 flips down there, I mean, what's so great about being up here, huh? I just won't put cups on the top shelf. I'll put that shit in the cabinets. Boom, problem solved. Now I can do 8 flips. Nothing else has changed. That's the only difference. The amount of flips you can do. um, so let's see, what else? I mean, that was pretty much it. That was the first football game. Oh, there was another thing. Halftime, Sac State was running into the tunnel. That's also a very interesting thing. There's a tunnel, so both the teams are just going in it. They try to keep them separate. Like one team goes in, then the other team. But then some of the stragglers, you see both teams going at the same time. You're like, that's kind of weird, right? Because they were just out there like trying to concuss each other, which is life altering. But now they're just skipping down the same tunnel. That's interesting. Well, this gentleman, the Sac State team's coming in to the tunnel, and this gentleman comes out of nowhere. I don't know where the fuck he came from. I think he was just summoned by Sac State. Yeah, a giant like sack dropped him down into the world, which actually, if you think about it, is technically true. Um, but he comes up by the tunnel, and I don't know if you know about Sac State, but they're the Sac State Hornets. And so their thing is like this. It means stingers up. I know. I'm not going to even say anything about that. But he comes over to the railing and he's like leaning over it. If he was like 4 years old, there would be a parent telling him to, hey, what the fuck are you doing? That's a far drop there, okay? Get off of there. But he's from Sac State and he's an adult, so no one gives a fuck. But he goes over there and he holds his pinky out and he just starts screaming at the team. But he's not screaming, he's yelling, he's cheering. He goes, stingers up, boys, stingers up. One half to go. Stingers up, boys, stingers up. Let's keep this going. Woo! Stingers up, boys. And he says that shit for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, yo, you got nothing else better to do on a Saturday? I was waiting for him to be like, yeah, stingers up, boys, stingers up. Connor, there's my boy. Let's go, Connor. Like him to maybe have a connection. No, I think he didn't know anyone on the team. I think he's just a Sac State fan. I'm like, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You thought I was going to be judgmental? I'm not. No. As someone that likes Star Wars, trust me. I know what it feels like to be on the other end of that judgment. Anyways. But it was a good experience. I am glad that I had some company in my friend. Thank you so much to that person. Because I don't know if I would have gone had I not been able to tag along with her. And I stayed for the whole thing, and it was great. It was dope, and it's cool that I can say I went to a football game now. But yeah, still haven't ridden a bus though. So working on that. But I had a bunch of other stuff to talk about, right? Because I recorded my last episode like 4 days ago or something, because I've been so behind. Now we're on, what is it? Track? I think. I don't know. Who knows? But this week is Thanksgiving. And I know I talked about like I haven't posted in a long time. And like 2 weeks ago I was like, oh, you're going to get a video before Thanksgiving. Total guarantee. Yeah, I lied. I'm working. At the moment, I thought I was telling the truth because I was working on a different video. And if I kept working on that video, it would be done by now. But I decided to change focus to this other video. Like I have 4 videos fully recorded. But like I just need the time to edit them. And so yeah, I was working on one of the videos and I decided to shift focus because I was like, I think it'd be better if I do it in this order. But this is like the biggest probably one out of, definitely. Out of the 4, this is the biggest one. And yeah, it's just taking a lot of time. And I've been working my ass off on it the past like 2 or 3 days. I think it'll be good. Who knows? Who fucking knows? But yeah, I'm going to spend like a lot of time this week. And I'm hoping like, I think it'll be out this week, but like it'll be after Thanksgiving, which makes sense. Like no one watches, from what I've seen on YouTube, no one fucking watches YouTube videos like the day before and after a holiday, and especially not the holiday. So yeah, like it'll be after it because like that's exciting. Like there's things to do in real life, but then yeah, when you get back to the real life, the 99% rest of real life, that's when you turn to like entertainment and shit to like distract yourself, because life is not the most exciting thing every day. But during holidays, oh hell yeah, it's exciting. So I don't gotta watch shit, So yeah, there'll be a video sometime in like the next week. I'm gonna be working very hard on it this week. But then, I'm also getting like my booster shot. And so I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that's gonna do to me. Like, cause the first one, I got like Moderna for the first, like two, and like the first one, oh, it put me out for like 4 or 5 days. And then the second one, like I was kind of down for like 12 hours, and then I was good to go. I came into it much more prepared. Like I was like, okay, you got to get your rest, you got to eat these foods. You're gonna take an Advil at this time, and you'll be set. So I came in with more of a plan, but I could tell like the second dose didn't really do much to me, which is weird because that's the one that like really really goes at people. So yeah, I've been hearing like this one, the boosters like the second one, and I'm like, well, if that's the case, that's dope because I kind of was kind of a trooper on that one. But yeah, who knows? Because if that really fucks me up, then I that's gonna put I'm not gonna be able to edit if I feel like shit. I won't be capable. But yeah, I had all those other things I was gonna talk about, and I was like, oh, it's okay that I'm gonna record a podcast so soon after this other one because I got shit written down. But now I'm not even gonna get to it, so that sucks. But maybe we can. No, I mean like all of these. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just do this because it's topical and it won't make sense next week. I was talking to someone about Thanksgiving, and I made the joke of like, oh, well, we were just talking about like what is Thanksgiving? Like honestly, I still don't know what it like. What do we? We looked it up, and there's like three different days that Thanksgiving was like technically established or whatever. Like the first one was the actual like whoever came to now America, and smallpox blankets. And then there was like another president, or like Washington, like declared it a holiday. But then FDR declared it a holiday, and then I think another president like declared it a holiday again. I'm like, so like I think you guys only have to do that once. You don't have to keep declaring it a holiday. So like I don't know. I think Thanksgiving was like most recently declared a holiday in like 1960s or something. And I'm like, what? Which one is it? Like what? I don't really get what this holiday is. But then we were talking about Thanksgiving, and I don't know how this came up, but I wrote down. I was like, I bet the first Thanksgiving was cordial, but then for every year after that, the potatoes weren't the only things that got mashed because there was fighting. I made that joke. Um, and then I started thinking like, wait, why was there conflict? And then I started thinking, oh, how funny would it be if at Thanksgiving that's when tensions started to rise? The first Thanksgiving, like they were so cordial, and then at Thanksgiving dinner, someone was like, "Hey, can you pass the stuffing?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Well, you are what you eat. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Well, you're fat." And then boom, that's how all this shit went to shit because they started like bat shaming during Thanksgiving dinner. They're passing the plate around. Obviously, I don't know if they have plates like exactly, you know what I'm saying? But they pass around whatever they have a bunch of the bread rolls in. You know, fuck it. It's a joke. I'm just going to say like the most ridiculous thing. They just pass around buttered up Hawaiian rolls, and then someone takes two, and they're like, really? If anyone here should be taking two, I don't know if it should be you. And they're like, what the fuck did you just say? It's like, I don't know, man. You know? Right now I'm seeing about 7 rolls. 5 on the plate and 2 under your shirt. Okay? It's like, all right, man, fuck you. And then boom, clash. And we never have recovered. It's just something so funny about like, what if all the conflict was very petty, but like that's not written in history? Like we think maybe it was like a territorial thing, like something so big, but maybe it was just like someone ate all the dessert and they're like, oh, what the fuck? I was looking forward to sweet potato casserole, which by the way, I just learned this year what sweet potato casserole is. Hey man, what the fuck are you guys doing? Sweet potatoes would melted marshmallows on top? What the fuck? It sounds dope. It sounds delicious. But like, Jesus, man. I don't know which one would kill you faster. Your fucking arteries clogging up from a sweet potato casserole or like smallpox blankets. Okay, Jesus. As you can see, I only know very few things about Thanksgiving and then I keep using them as punchlines. But yeah, I hope you do have sweet potato casserole, but not too much because, geez, man, come on. And I hope you don't have smallpox blankets. And I hope you have as many buttered rolls as you want. Because honestly, you know, turkey is supposed to be the showstopper, and it's the fucking blandest meat there is. It looks, you know what it is? Turkey looks like overexposed meat. Like, you know, when you're trying to focus a camera and there's too much light and then it gets overexposed? Like, turkey looks like overexposed meat. And if you have overexposed meat, you get arrested. You put it together, okay? Turkey sucks. I guess I just put it together for you. Okay. But yeah, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. And I'll talk at you next week, okay? Bye. Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't tell this joke. I want to tell this joke. When I saw Irene's tweet, I couldn't help but start singing. Because when I saw that tweet, I was like, oh, come on, Irene. You know? Come on, Irene. What you said was so mean. Get it? No, but what she said was actually really funny. Okay, now I'll talk at you next week. Okay? Bye.